You probably have 2 or 3 t-shirts in your drawer right now that you walk right past every morning. Not because they don't fit, they fit fine. But somehow they never look quite right, so you reach for something else, something that feels more put together. Here's what I want to show you today. The problem isn't the t-shirt. It's that nobody ever showed you how to wear it. And once you see these 8 tricks, that changes permanently, because most of them cost nothing, use what you already own, and take about 30 seconds to apply. Let's get straight into it. Trick 1, the half tuck rule. This is the one that gets the fastest visible result, so we're starting here. Most of us were taught 2 options, tuck it in or leave it out. But there's a third option that does something neither of those can, the half tuck. Just the front center of the shirt, loosely dropped about 2 or 3 inches into the waistband. The sides and back stay out. That's it. Now here's why it actually works, because this isn't just a styling trick, it's a visual principle. A full tuck creates a horizontal line across the midsection. A full untuck creates one uniform shape from shoulder to hip. The half tuck creates asymmetry, and asymmetry makes the eye move. When the eye moves, the body looks longer and more composed instead of settling at any one spot. I know what some of you are thinking. I've tried tucking before and it just looked messy on me. The reason it looked messy is almost always the same. The fabric was too thin and flimsy, or it was pulled too tight. The half tuck only works when you do it loosely and intentionally. If it looks too neat, reach in and loosen it slightly. The goal is relaxed, not sloppy. There's a real difference between the two, and you'll feel it when you get it right. This works best on jeans, straight-leg trousers, and midi skirts. One condition: your t-shirt needs to be fitted or semi-fitted, not oversized. We'll come back to why fit and fabric matter so much in Trick 5. Trick 2, the column stack. This one comes from how French women dress, and it works because it's a proportion principle, not a trend. The column stack is simply wearing your t-shirt in the same color family as your bottoms. Not an exact match, same tonal range. Cream on ivory, navy on navy, camel on tan, soft gray on charcoal. What this does is create one continuous vertical line from shoulder to ankle, and that line reads as taller, leaner, and, here's the part people don't expect, expensive looking. Not because it costs more, but because it signals intentionality. It looks like you chose this on purpose. The most wearable version of this for everyday life is a fitted white or ivory tee with white or off-white wide leg trousers. That combination is everywhere right now. Camel on tan is equally strong and a little warmer in feeling, beautiful for fall. And navy on navy, finished with white trainers or tan loafers, is one of the most underestimated combinations in this space. Clean, polished, and effortless all at once. One thing to watch: cool tones and warm tones within the same color can clash rather than stack. A cool tone navy paired with a warm tone navy reads as a mismatch, not a column. When you're not sure, go slightly lighter on top and slightly darker on the bottom. That direction tends to be the most flattering. Trick 3, the neckline redirect. This is where most people get it wrong, and it's the smallest decision with the largest impact. The neckline of your t-shirt had one job in a styling context: direct the eye toward your face or away from it. That's its entire function. And when it does that job well, everything about how you look improves. Because when the eye goes to your face first, that's where the conversation starts. That's where your presence lives. A V-neck, even a shallow one, creates a line that points upward and lengthens the appearance of the neck. You don't need a deep V for this to work. 2 to 3 inches of depth gives you all the benefit with none of the discomfort. If you prefer a crew neck, the fix is simple. Add a pendant necklace with a little drop to it. A 16 to 18-inch chain with a small pendant creates a downward focal point that gives the crew neck the same elongating effect as a V. One small addition changes the entire read of the neckline. On sleeves, and this comes up a lot in this community, so I want to address it directly. The one sleeve length that tends to be unflattering on most women is one that hits at the very widest part of the upper arm, usually about 2 inches above the elbow. A sleeve that sits slightly higher toward the shoulder or comes down to or just below the elbow will almost always be more flattering. It's worth checking that measurement when you're shopping. One small adjustment there can make a significant difference in how comfortable and confident you feel. Trick 4, the sleeve roll building directly on that. There's a meaningful difference between a casual scrunch and a styled roll, and it's visible from across the room. 2 clean folds bringing the sleeve to just above the elbow. Press it lightly so it holds its shape. Not a bunch, not a roll that unravels an hour later, 2 deliberate folds in structured cotton or Pima fabric. Very thin jersey tends to fall back down, so save this technique for tees with a little more weight and body to them. Here's the part that actually makes this work. Once you roll the sleeves, the wrist becomes a styling opportunity. A simple watch, a couple of stacked thin bracelets, or one cuff bracelet, and suddenly the eye has somewhere interesting to land at the end of the arm. People won't be able to tell you exactly why your outfit looks thoughtful, but they'll feel it. This pairs exceptionally well with a layering piece. Roll the T-sleeves before putting on a blazer or open cardigan, then let the outer layer's sleeves push up slightly so the T's rolled edge shows at the wrist. That layered detail at the wrist is something stylists do deliberately. It costs nothing and reads as considered. We're halfway through, and these last 4 tricks are where everything starts to connect into a complete look, not just individual adjustments. If this is useful to you, subscribe and hit the bell. I post new styling content every single week specifically for women over 60, and I'd love to see you there. Now, let's keep going. Trick 5, the fabric upgrade. This is the trick that explains why 2 outfits with the exact same silhouette can look completely different on the same person. And it's the one most women never think about. Fabric is doing more work than any other variable in how your outfit reads. A basic jersey tee tends to pull against the body, loses its shape quickly, and has a visual flatness that reads as inexpensive regardless of what you paid for it. A tee made from Pima cotton, Supima cotton, or Modal behaves completely differently. It drapes, it moves with you rather than against you, it holds its shape after washing, and it has a quiet softness, both in person and on camera, that signals quality without announcing it. Specific options worth knowing. Quince sells Pima cotton tees for under $25, and the quality genuinely surprises people when they feel it for the first time. Amazon Essentials has a Pima cotton V-neck and crew neck that run under $20 and consistently get strong reviews. Everlane's Supima tee is around $35 and lasts for years. These aren't the only options, but they're reliable and easy to find. The principle is this: 1 well-made tee in a quality fabric will do more styling work for you than 5 average ones. If you're going to invest anything, invest in white first, then 1 neutral that works for your complexion. Camel, dusty rose, sage, warm gray, whatever sits closest to your skin tone and makes your face look alive, the rest of the wardrobe builds from there. Trick 6, the thin belt trick. This one surprises people because it creates waist definition without any of the discomfort or self-consciousness we often associate with that idea. A thin belt, 1 inch wide or narrower, worn loosely over a slightly oversized tee resting at or just above the natural waist. Not cinched, not tight, just sitting there quietly. Here's what it's actually doing. It's giving the eye a reference point. The waist is already there. The belt isn't creating anything new, it's simply telling the eye where to look. Without that cue, a loose top reads as 1 uniform shape from shoulder to hip. 1 thin belt placed correctly changes that perception immediately. Now, I want to be honest, this doesn't work with every t-shirt. It works best when the tee is slightly oversized, not when it's extremely boxy or very long. And the belt has to be thin. A wide belt on a puño t-shirt looks costumey rather than styled. Loose and thin is the rule, and it's worth following. Cognac leather or warm tan faux leather is the most versatile starting point. It works over a white tee with jeans, it works over a camel tee with trousers, it works beautifully with a midi skirt. That's probably the most polished version of this combination and one of the easiest outfits to put together on any given morning. Trick 7, the layering anchor. By now you can see that these tricks aren't isolated. Each one is building toward the same outcome. And this is where it starts to come together as a complete outfit strategy, rather than a collection of individual adjustments. Your t-shirt is the anchor. It's the inner piece that gives a blazer or cardigan something to work with. When the anchor is right, the outer layer looks like a deliberate styling choice. When it's wrong, wrong fit, wrong fabric, wrong color, even the most beautiful blazer looks like it's fighting the outfit instead of completing it. The combination that works consistently for women over 60 is a fitted tee under an open linen blazer. The blazer stays open, not buttoned, not belted, just worn as a frame around the body. What it creates is a long vertical line down the center of the outfit, which does everything we've been building toward: length, structure, polish, and ease, all in the same look. Color rule for layering. The outer piece should be one shade lighter or one shade darker than the tee, not a match. A white tee under cream linen. A gray tee under a charcoal cardigan. Near matches create intentional tonal layering that reads as sophisticated. An exact match can look like you ran out of ideas. A fine knit open cardigan over a fitted tee deserves its own mention here. Warmth without bulk, polish without effort. If you don't own one yet, a neutral fine knit in camel, ivory, or soft sage is one of the highest return additions you can make to your wardrobe this year. It works over a tee in October the same way a blazer does in April, and that kind of versatility is what makes a piece earn its place in the closet. Trick 8. The wide leg moment, and we're ending here because once you try this combination, it tends to become the outfit you reach for every single time. It's that reliable. A fitted or semi-fitted tee, half-tucked or fully tucked, paired with high-waisted wide-leg trousers. That's the formula. And it works because of a proportion principle that has nothing to do with trends. When one part of an outfit has volume, the other part provides structure. Wide-leg trousers have significant volume in the leg. A fitted tee gives structure at the top. The contrast between the two creates a defined silhouette, narrow above, dramatic below, that lengthens the leg, suggests a waist, and looks genuinely elegant. Now, this won't look right if the proportions are off, and I want to be clear about that. The trousers need to be high-waisted, sitting at or above the natural waist. The hem needs to be long enough to skim the top of the foot, too short, and the wide leg loses its entire elongating effect. The tee should be fitted, not boxy. A boxy tee with wide-leg trousers can collapse into a shapeless look quickly, which is the opposite of what we're going for. For accessible options, Amazon Essentials. Wide-leg trousers in black, ivory, and camel start under $30. Gap and Old Navy both carry high-waisted versions that go on sale regularly and work well for this silhouette. You don't need to spend a lot, but fit and length matter here more than anywhere else on this list. Here's the complete version of this look so you can see all 8 tricks working together at once: a fitted white Pima cotton tee, half-tucked into high-waisted camel wide-leg trousers, sleeves rolled once, a thin cognac belt resting loosely at the waist, a simple gold pendant necklace, tan loafers. Under $100 to assemble from scratch, and it looks significantly more expensive than that, not because of what it cost, but because every proportion decision in that outfit was intentional. That's what all 8 tricks are building toward. Not a perfect body, not a bigger budget. Intention. None of what we covered today requires a new wardrobe or a major investment. What it requires is understanding a few principles about how clothes actually work, where the eye travels, how proportion creates shape, why fabric and fit matter more than price. Once you understand those things, getting dressed stops being a guessing game and starts feeling like something you're in control of. And that shift from guessing to knowing is what actually changes how you look and how you feel when you walk out the door. If this video gave you something useful, I'd love to know which trick you're trying first. Tell me in the comments. I read every single one. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now is a good time because next week I'm breaking down the exact colors that work best for women over 60 based on complexion, and why so many women are quietly wearing colors that are working against them without even realizing it. That video will change how you shop and how you get dressed. I'll see you there.